This is The Snack with Ryan and Jay.
Oklahoma. The wind goes running down the plain. I'm Ryan.
I've never been a musical guy, and I've worked with people that are like that they just know musicals so well, and I've just never been that guy.
Yeah, you know, and even the bands I like, who was it that Mervish has out now? Is it the Four Tops, the Temptations?
Temptations.
And I love the Temptations. Like,
Right.
I'd go old school. I'm talking like Sunday morning, you're making breakfast. There's nothing else on the radio. And
Papa was Rolling Stone. It's my favorite.
Papa was
Just that
a
whole boom,
Rolling
boom.
Stone. That wasn't the Temptations at all.
Boom, boom. Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. That was Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh yeah, you don't want to make that bet with me right now, because you're
Well,
gonna.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Okay, you just talked to the fine people.
Sure.
They did the original Papa was a Rolling Stone?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to really...
David Ruffin and the Temptations.
Oh, no, now look at who's name dropping.
R-U-F-F-I-N.
Oh, don't worry about this
It was
guy.
later 70s Temptations, though. It had that real sort of street-esque quality.
But that, it was the Temptations.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like it could be a Sly and the Family Stone. I'm just being a dick. It sounds like it could be a Sly and the Family Stone tune for sure. Also a great band.
They couldn't have done the original, though. Somebody must have done the original.
No, it's Temptation.
Help me out, Internet.
By the way, listen, Sly and the Family Stone kind of slides me towards George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic.
Love them.
I've raved about this show to Ryan before. If you have not yet checked it out, it's on Crave. It's available to you to view right now. It is called Tales from the Tour Bus with Mike Judge. Mike Judge is the voice of Beavis and Butthead. He's the creator of King of the Hill. And he recreates in season 1 outlaw country people like Johnny Paycheck. Johnny Cash is in there. Jerry Lee Lewis, all the outlaws, the bad boys.
It's Temptation.
Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, all those people make appearances. And it's animated, but with from real people's interviews, they animate it. And there's so much drugs and sex and violence and just music and just grittiness there. His whole inspiration for it was like watching rap videos and being like, these people aren't badass. These people are badass. But season 2 picks up with the first episode was George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic. He moves on to 70s funk. And episode 2 is Rick James.
Rick James.
You can just cocaine is a hell of a drug. You can just imagine how that one goes. So I can't recommend that highly enough. As always, let us know in the comments section what you actually thought of it.
I remember the Rick James album. By the way, he was right about the Temptations. 3 minutes and 51 seconds, the intro to that song.
It's so
Can you
great.
believe that?
Such a great build.
Yeah.
Boom. I can hear it in my head.
It's so weird to think that the same band that sang My Girl is the same band that sang that song.
Yeah, well, a lot of those guys really, they had to...
Reinvent themselves.
Yeah, they had to reinvent themselves constantly, and they had to grow with the label, and Motown was one of those labels that... there's so many great documentaries about Motown, too. Standing in the Shadows is one about backup singers. There's one about the backup band that played on all those records. I can't remember the name of that documentary right now. But welcome into the pod, by the way. We should let you know that this pod available today, if all goes well as I film it, on our YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. We're getting up around 100 subscribers, which I got to tell you is about 50 more than I thought we'd get. I'm very excited. Well, YouTube, you know what? Anything social media wise is a tough climb. You gotta constantly be working at it.
Feed the beast.
And it's slow. And chances are, if you follow someone in media that seems to have a disproportionately huge amount of followers, that's because they're bought.
They paid for them.
They paid for them.
We're all organic.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy.
We're like chicken at Whole Foods. That's how
I want it
organic
to be
we are.
real people, not bots.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're available as well to you 24/7 on our Instagram at The Rush Toronto. You can find at Ryan Doyle Show on Twitter, Jay and The Rush TO on Twitter. We're both on Facebook as well as my personal Instagram, Jay Michaels Media.
He has a personal Instagram, folks. I have a personal Instagram, too. I don't follow anybody on it. I've got 100 followers. No idea why.
Yeah.
No idea why anybody's following me on that. If you are, you have my express written consent of Major League Baseball and Ryan Doyle to just eliminate yourself from it. Get away. You don't have to. You don't have to. 'Cause I'm not doing anything on it. I don't know what to do. I'm not doing. What am I going to do? Oh, look, here's me in the fall leaves.
Yeah.
I'm doing snow angels. Well, that's not my guy. That's not my thing. Can I just seal up your Rick James conversation very quickly?
Yes.
I
You were
remember
going to talk about his album?
my dad had a turntable that was right behind the dining room table, and underneath it was like one of those. It was installed in one of those old big armoires, like the ones you'd never move from another house.
Right.
And I remember he had like it was a little cubby underneath the record player that probably fit 80 to 100 records. And every now and then he'd say, yeah, go ahead, pick something out, pop it on the turntable, be very careful. And my hands would shake, my little hands would shake as I got the needle closer to the record and the album. And of course, inevitably, I would skip the wrong little groove and be
like, oh, what are you doing?
Just be bad. But the Rick James album, I remember, it was Rick James in this weird zebra suit with the jerry curls and the whole bit. You ever see that album?
Is he standing on a street corner underneath a street lamp?
No, he's lying down flat. Like, you have to open this one up to see his legs and stuff.
Okay.
I got to show you this.
Was that the album with Mary Jane on it?
Could be.
Do you remember?
It could be. I don't remember because I was like 8 when all of this happened, so it would be hard for me to have a good recollection. Let me just look up album covers. And we'll... Oh, yeah, it was this one.
Hold it up to the...
Cold-Blooded. It was Cold-Blooded.
Hold it up to the...
There you go. It's Cold-Blooded.
Put it closer.
There you go.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
But then if you opened that, it was him lying flat sprawled. I know, that was the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one you're talking
That's the
about.
one with... That's one with Super Freak on it.
Yeah, that's Street Songs.
So,
I wish I could find the open...
Rick James was in a band in Toronto. Did you know that?
I did not know
He was
that.
in a band called the Minor Birds.
Really?
Yeah,
On purpose?
With a Canadian you might remember, named Neil Young.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Rick James was in a band with Neil Young.
Yeah, yeah.
What was he doing in that band?
He moved to Canada. I think he moved to Canada to avoid the draft, and he was like in the '60s bands. Like he's been around for a while, and he was in the Minor Birds, and then he decided to take the funk route, went back to the States, and became the Rick James that you know today.
How did he put up with all Neil Young's whiny songs and singing?
I don't know. Well, Neil Young's always been a guy that broke up bands, right? He was in the Buffalo Springfield. He was in Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. He's always really been a solo artist.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go.
I want to ask you about something from last night. Is that cool? It's very rare that Ryan jumps on the text with an all caps. Ryan jumped on
It was a very... You can show people the all caps text I sent you, I think.
I will show it to you.
I think there was like a couple F words in there. So I'm sitting here last night. No, not here. In the
was last night... Was last night also for you?
Can I read that? I'll read that for the people who can't see.
That are listening.
It says, you need to stop everything and order the movie Searching Holy Fuck. It's not called Searching Holy Fuck. It's just Searching.
Yeah.
And then I was so excited. I said to Jay, Holy fuck.
Because the last I talked to you was Ryan was like, he's heading home. The last words he said to me was, it's festive feast night. Hope the Lindor chocolate's back. I was like, oh, the Swiss Chalet Festive Feast.
Yeah, it was the festive special.
Did you have it?
I did have it last night. It's great. Little stuffing, little thing of cranberry.
Little Swiss shallot.
Little Swiss shallot, or the Swiss chalet, as the French would call it.
And then you end up
quarter
on
chicken dinner white with some fries. I was nicely full. It's still not the Toblerone, though. It is the Lindt chocolates.
Yeah, the round ones?
Yeah, but they have a salted chocolate one, which is very,
salted caramel?
Yeah, it's very lovely.
It's very trendy.
Very lovely. Oh, is it it's on trend?
Oh, it's on trend.
I didn't realize it was on trend.
Very much. The salted caramel? Yeah, the salted caramel and the dark chocolate salted caramel. The dark chocolate was salted caramel. Inside is a very big chocolate right now with wine aficionados.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically female varieties that live at my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big time.
Interesting.
So this thing, what was it called? Searching?
It's called Searching.
Okay.
So I've never heard of this movie before. And it was one of those, you know how you're on the on-demand? You go on the on-demand and check out trailers and stuff?
Is it the one with the dude from Kumar and
It
blah,
is
blah,
the
go to
one
White
from...
Castle?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
with
so
Harold.
Go.
Harold is the blah, blah, blah.
He's a dad
He's
now.
the main character in this movie.
Okay.
It's all pretty much done with... You're watching interactions on the internet. So a lot of it's done through... FaceTime, a lot of it's done through Instagram, a lot of it's done through different chats, a lot of it's done through texting, but the texting is on a computer screen, so that's all you see as the viewer. I don't even really want to tell you anything about this, because this is one of the on-demand movies that had no rating on it. You know, I always get leery. I always like, oh man, this must just be a CanCon.
Yeah.
They stuck this on here to try to fool me.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm watching Frank D'Angelo.
The world
talk
needs
to
content.
great people. The world needs content, absolutely. So... I'm watching this movie, and it is phenomenal.
Really?
Like, gripping.
Okay.
I don't even want to tell you. Is it wrong for me not want to? Can I tell you?
I
Should
don't
tell
think
you?
I don't think you should tell me. I do know the basic premise.
Okay.
How about I tell you what I think the basic premise is?
And I will smile and nod.
And you give me the affirmative
Yes.
if it's a yay, and the shaky if it's a no. John Cho, that's his name,
That's
right?
Harold.
John Cho's daughter goes missing, and he tries to find her using the contents of her laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
That is it, Daddy-o.
Cool. Because I read that. I was like, oh, I like him. He's good. I like his acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
and there were so many turns in it and stuff.
Cool.
And then I went on the Rotten Tomatoes, and it's 92% fresh.
Wow.
So this movie, I don't know if it ever opened in theaters. I don't know if it was direct to.
Further proof that not everything has to be a blockbuster.
Right?
Not everything needs to go through the commercial ringer, the junket.
I don't know
circuit.
how I missed it though.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like, you ever get to that point where you're like, how did I miss this movie coming out? Like I did that with John Wick a little while ago.
Sure.
Right. I just watched John Wick
is
the other day.
Very little that escapes my purview when it comes to
because you're
movies,
like a pop culture puma.
Yeah,
That's what I call you.
Oh, dude, I'm a junkie. I call it feeding the machine. There's nothing I love better than feeding the machine. Feeding the machine. What's coming out? What's new? What can I check out? What can I read about? What can I watch? And the list just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I'll tell you, I told you this story before, and we'll wrap up with this because we don't have a lot of time. Texture, the app Texture for magazines, saved my life because I used to buy $200 worth of magazines a month, and if I didn't read them all, I would have the worst anxiety because I felt like I was wasting money. And it's hard to read $200 worth of magazines.
Sure it is.
But the Texture app, you get all the magazines on one, like 200 magazines, and I just download them all. And if I don't get to them, I'm like, whatever. It's $12 a month.
That's why I buy
No
$200
biggie.
worth of magazines that all just have pictures in them.
Hey, listen, we'll leave you with this. If you're a budding radio person, TV personality, any type of personality, worth your salt where you have to prepare content for any type of show, if you don't have the Texture app, if you're not reading magazines on Texture,
Pick it up.
you have no excuse for not having been prepared for a show because you will always be prepared if you have that.
Words of advice with Jay Michaels, the pop culture puma.
Hard to believe because I'd take money for it. I'm not being paid to say that.
I do a great puma.
We didn't even get to the Cinnabon story.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. All right.
Bye.